nights on ITV and ITV Hub. Now the headlines where you are, it's the ITV News.
No.
Good evening, I'm Duncan Golestani with the news in London. A 28-year-old woman has been arrested after two men died at a property in Ilford early this morning. Police were called to a house in Tavistock Gardens just before 4:30 following reports of a disturbance. They found two men seriously injured where they both later died. 16 people have been arrested after a crowd of anti-lockdown protesters marched down Clapham High Street yesterday. The unmasked demonstrators chanted, "Take your freedom back." The protest took place after a major incident was declared in the capital as the rising number of coronavirus cases threatens to overwhelm London's hospitals. Another 22 people received fines. Throughout the pandemic, the number of people using food banks across London has been on the rise. Now, to help food banks keep up with greater demand, a woman has turned her home in Highgate into a distribution centre, helping hundreds struggling to feed their families. Anna Geary reports.
It's all hands on deck at this multi-million-pound property in North London. The homeowner converted her garage into a food bank distribution centre to help those struggling in the pandemic.
It's a response to there are so many people in desperate need. It was obvious that when COVID happened there was going to be a lot of redundancies, and people maybe who had never ever thought about going to food banks before would suddenly find themselves with a
drop-off point for donations. Her army of volunteers then help with organising and taking supplies to 16 food banks nearby. With more time on his hands as people stay home, taxi driver Howard is involved in the deliveries.
As well as rewarding, it's very humbling when you do deliveries to food banks and people are queuing up 2 hours before the food bank opens, just so they know they're going to get food. That's very humbling.
And recruiting volunteers like Howard has proved easy with a heavy footfall of walkers and joggers passing the home, given its proximity to Hampstead Heath. Support which has proved essential to the cause, particularly during the October half-term, when the team were inundated with supplies, after footballer Marcus Rashford launched his high-profile campaign to get free meals for children during the holidays. The founders of Food Bank Aid hope their project might inspire others.
Kind of longer term plan, if anyone wanted to, was to recreate this model. I suppose we created a franchisable model that anyone in South London or Manchester or Glasgow could recreate and work for their area, because it really does work.
But for now, they're asking for supplies to keep coming in the months ahead, where
This was an old song.
typically donations go down as bills go up. Anna Geary.
Keeping up to date. Hi, proud sponsors of ITV Regional Sports Report.
In Football League 2, underdogs Crawley Town walked away victorious against Premier League visitors Leeds United. Jordan Tunnicliffe scored the third of 3 second-half goals, and former Towie star Mark Wright made his debut with the club. Meanwhile, Chelsea finished 4-0 against Morecambe, and Spurs are currently 4-0 up against Marine. In rugby, the Harlequins went head-to-head with London Irish. The result, a draw there, 27-all. The Queen was vaccinated yesterday, and so was a soap queen. Dame Joan Collins posted this picture today of her getting her first jab at a surgery in Bloomsbury. The 87-year-old said it was painless and seamless and urged others to follow suit. And finally, don't forget, this man returns tomorrow.
Okay, so run, where's the dragon? I can see my duck! Run, jump the water, good! Run.
Joe Wicks is back at 9 a.m. leading PE at home. The Epsom Bourne star had huge success in the first lockdown and hopes to keep the nation fit and healthy once again.
This must be the
On to the weather now. Here's James Wright.
Hello there, good evening. Bit disappointing today, not much in the way of winter sunshine, any mist and fog from early just lifting into cloud and hovering around. We'll start to see a few breaks in the cloud overnight, maybe a little bit of a frost to the south of us, but I think enough cloud and enough of a breeze to get us down to overnight. Through tomorrow then, bit of a mixed bag, some bright spells, some breaks in the cloud developing later on, just a sandwich of sunshine, but that's only ahead of a cold front for later in the day. Tomorrow night, that's going to bring a few outbreaks of rain. Temperature-wise, well, not doing too badly, 7 or 8. Next, well, could be a bit of a chilly start on Tuesday. We temporarily switch back to a north-northwesterly. That could give us a bit of a chilly start, but then we start to see a bit more cloud and some milder air moving in from the southwest, accompanied by a little bit of dampness. More in the way of wet weather on Wednesday, a bit of a washout for the middle part of the week, but once that clears, temperatures rising once again. As we head towards Thursday, might be a damp start because of this front just pushing off towards the low countries, but then brightening up, a little bit more of settled weather towards the end of the week, highs of 8. Bye-bye.
That's how London's looking. Enjoy your evening. Bye-bye.
Football.
2021. Out with the